Good evening, Mark. So, budget cuts, new taxes, a little of both? It's still not clear. Governor Jay Inslee this afternoon says relying only on cuts would cause what he called, quote, huge damage to the state. Let's show you the numbers that came out this morning. This is the state's Budget Forecast Council, and state lawmakers have to balance a budget based on these numbers. For 2019-2021, the budget as of now will come up $4.5 billion short, 9% below what was projected in February. The numbers are about the same for 21-23 tax collections. The governor's office knew these numbers would be bad and asked agency heads to see what necessary budget cuts would look like. Layoffs in the state's crime lab, college tuition hikes, cutting off free childcare for families in poverty. Those are just some of the ways state agencies have suggested cutting costs to balance the budget after adjusting to the COVID-19 world.
The victims of these cuts are the least amongst us. They are the most vulnerable people who have the fewest places to be able to look to for help.
Governor Jay Inslee, who today called for salary freezes and furloughs for thousands of state employees, has not ruled out supporting new taxes, which lawmakers avoided during the Great Recession.
As we look forward, I hope that we heed the lessons of the last recession, which we are still under the shadow of in mental health and the like.
Longtime Representative Democrat Frank Chopp has already proposed a capital gains tax impacting the state's top investment earners and a new tax on large businesses to help offset cuts to social workers and other state services. And the Democrat in charge of writing the Senate's budget says taxes need to be discussed.
I'm saying everything is on the table right now. The goal is do no harm. But we cannot recover the economy until we have the virus under control, and that requires spending money.
I don't buy the idea that we need to take additional revenue from a business sector in an economy that frankly is pretty fragile right now.
Republican Senator John Braun says the budget can be balanced by bringing lawmakers back to Olympia immediately and without raising any new taxes.
You're in the minority party. Are you worried that they've got the votes and they can make this happen?
Yeah, frankly, I think I'm surprised at how willing they are to talk about new revenue, given the dire economic situation we are.
Earlier this spring, the governor vetoed several sections in the upcoming budget that are going to end up saving the state hundreds of millions of dollars. But of course, now we're talking about billions of dollars of savings needed. The state does have a rainy day fund, some $3 billion in savings, which could go to help, and there's also a chance that the federal government could lend a hand, and those are some reasons that the governor's a little non-committal on backing any of these tax proposals as of now. Back to you.
So, Drew, we know the federal government can deficit spend. Our state is required constitutionally to balance the budget every year. So the question, does the governor need to call a special session to deal with this deficit, or do you think it can wait until the regular session in January?
That's a good point, Mark, on the deficit spending. That's not an option here in Olympia, and that's why some folks are saying we need to get back as soon as possible, because every dollar we save now will end up saving us more down the road. The governor knows that call has been coming. The Republicans have called for it for several weeks. Democrats told us today that there may be an announcement on this next week, but the governor has just been a little hesitant because he wants to see what the federal government might be able to do to reduce that gap. But it sounds more and more like lawmakers will be back here before the regular scheduled session starts in January.
All right, Drew Mickelson, thank you.